Hey y'all, word. Wanna hear it, wanna talk about it. Word. Wanna hear it, wanna talk about it. Know it's all about the word. You know it's word. I'm G-Stylez and welcome to the Word Podcast. It's our very first episode right here. And today I'm joined by Chris Modez, a.k.a. DJ Hollywood, who's the host of The Hollywood Show on KRZA Radio.
Hey.
Also a local musician. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, G? I'm glad to be here. This is an awesome opportunity. Thank you for inviting me down here. This is pretty cool. The way I know G-Stylez is he's a musician as well, and that's how we got to know one another. And of course, we work at the same radio station and stuff like that. So, yeah.
We were kind of talking about, right before this whole podcast started, about the whole Odell Beckham Jr. situation. So for the people that don't know about that, I barely kind of found out about this. Can you give us like a little background on that?
Yeah, Odell Beckham, as you guys know, is famous for the New York Giants. And if you search him if you Google him for the famous catch, he has that famous catch where he's laying down practically, stretching his arm, extending it, and grabbing the football with one hand, and scoring a touchdown, of course. And since then, since the release, of course, of any NFL players or any kind of athletes, pro athletes, with age comes free agency. And you know what I mean? Like your worth, depending on what your worth is or what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, I don't make sure I page back into the Odell thing, but I want to take it to Brady from last night, Tom Brady, which was a little bit of embarrassment. And by the time you guys hear this podcast, what is this? What's the date on this today?
Today is the 15th.
The 15th. No, today's 17th.
Oh. Wait.
Yeah, we're on the 17th of January.
Oh, man, you can't ask me dates right now. I took some of these gummies right before we got started. We'll get into that a little later, though.
Yeah, I'll tell you about my high story here in a bit. But going back to the thing with Brady, you guys all know him and you guys all hate him, especially Bronco fans, for whatever reason. I don't know why you guys hate the guy. I mean, he's a pain in the ass, what has he got, like 7 rings or something like that? He's got 7 rings, right?
Too many, I don't know.
Yeah, he's got a shit ton. So, and, last night his legacy was gone. It's gone, man. Did you watch the game last night?
I missed it.
Oh, you didn't miss anything. So he was throwing the passes into the dirt. There was one where he wanted to just chuck the ball out of the end zone just because he didn't have no one. It was in the red zone. And he couldn't find a receiver at the time. So, what the quarterbacks usually do, they just throw that thing out of bounds, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he chucks it, but he doesn't chuck it far enough, and it gets intercepted in the end zone. And that's where his demise started. And so by the end of the game, I think the score was like 14-31. So anyway, like I said, this is his last hoorah.
Yeah.
I guess he's done now. So what I mean by that is, going back with the Odell thing, is what is Tom Brady's worth? What's his money worth? Same thing with Odell. Odell has a chip on his shoulder. Odell still thinks Odell's in the days of the New York Giants that good of an athlete. Was he great? Yeah, he was great. But when he got released, he ended up going to the Cleveland Browns. He got paid a shit ton of money. Shit ton. They even gave him a Bentley that had Cleveland Browns insignia on it. It was brown and orange. It was an ugly looking thing. But, I can't pull up the numbers right now of what he got paid because I'd be lying to you if I did. But it was a good deal of money. And then with his attitude, he couldn't take Baker Mayfield. So the following year, he asked for a release. He says, I'm out of here. I'm not getting the ball. Because mainly what the Cleveland Browns got him for was to get double coverage on him so they could have other receivers open. They were just using him as a pawn, as
bait or whatever.
Bait, yeah, exactly. So when he got released from the Browns, I think it was like during midseason actually, and he ended up with the Rams, and then they went to the Super Bowl. When he played the Super Bowl, he ended up getting hurt in the Super Bowl. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then once he was done, once that season was over, he had some knee problems. He's got knee problems. And the Rams released him. They said, "No, you're a liability to us. So, here's your money, here's your check. Get the hell out of here." So now we're up to present time, and I overheard this like on Facebook, social media type thing about Odell being kicked off an airplane.
Yeah.
And if you can imagine, he was in first class, and I guess he was partying in Miami and hanging out with buddies and stuff, and getting lit up. He's just drinking, doing his thing, and I don't know if he got on the plane intoxicated. Well, he decided he needed to take a nap. He figured, well, shit, I'm flying to L.A. I think we're making a pit stop somewhere. I can't tell you where the pit stop was at. So, by the time this comes out on the podcast, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to be commenting like, hey, dumbass, it was supposed to be in Miami, or, hey, it's supposed to be in, where this exchange happened.
Exactly.
I think it was in Miami, though. But
it doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't really matter. But anywho, the stewardess, like you've been on a plane before where they, hey, you need to buckle up. We're about to roll out of here, And so he's asleep, and he's got his sweats off. So he's like laying in his underwear, and he's unresponsive when they're trying to shake him and wake him up. So they call security. Security comes up there. They try to wake him, and they're having trouble with him, and they finally got him awake. And so they decided, hey, you got to comply with the rules that we have here. You got to put your fucking belt on.
Yeah. Simple shit.
Yeah, simple shit. I mean, we all fucking follow rules, right, G?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, when you're.
Well, go ahead.
When you're a peasant like us, I guess.
Well, that's what I was telling you earlier was.
It's like, it's just this rich shit.
Yeah, you're overprivileged. You know, when you got a shit ton of money, and you got everybody doing shit for you. You know what it's like. You've been on the road when you're doing your small tours and shit. People are doing shit for you.
Yeah.
You get kind of used to that shit when you're out on the road, right? Then you fucking get home and you're just like everybody else. You're just like, hey man, I thought I was important. But anyway, back to the discussion with Odell. They decide, and he decides that he doesn't want to comply.
Yeah,
Long story short, he's like, fuck you. I'll do what I want. I'm Odell Beckham. Kiss my ass, so to speak. The stewardess talks to the pilot makes the decision on if they want to kick his ass off or not.
86 his ass.
Yeah, just, get him off. So the sheriff is like, hey, well, you just can't pull this guy off of the plane. You got to fucking tell everybody to get off the plane. We just won't let him back on.
Yeah, deboard, or what do they call it?
Yeah. Just get the hell out type of thing,
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody's got to get off the plane. And that way, he's forced to get him off the plane.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's not allowed back on the plane. So they discuss this with him, and you've seen some footage that, I was showing you on YouTube and stuff. You guys can find this on YouTube, but Odell and his fucking drunkenness and just being an asshole. I mean, there's some old fuckers that are on this plane, right? Yeah. And there, and there's footage that you hadn't seen. There was a couple. That old dude, when he was talking to, he's like, "Man, can you just get off the plane so we can get moving?" Because he had nothing to do with it. He had nothing to do with.
They have to unboard the plane in 45 minutes.
Yeah, get your luggage, all that shit off the plane. Everything had to be, to code.
Just so this guy doesn't have to get off first.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
And as everybody's exiting the plane, you see Odell. He's like telling that old dude, "He's like, fuck you, I ain't fucking getting off the plane for you, You kiss my ass." He goes, by the time we get off this plane, I'm gonna have a private plane. Come get me, and you're gonna be eating the fucking cheese board on this plane. like the cheeses that they give you.
You gonna wait 40 minutes, and I'm gonna be on a private plane home. Yeah, till fat ass. Yeah, I will. Get your ass off the plane for a second. Yeah, I bet. Enjoy the cheese board on the way home. So ugly ass.
Whatever, if you guys want to hammer me for what I'm saying, because it's my opinion that, fuck him, because when he got off the plane eventually, he's like, "Where's my luggage? I got to get my luggage."
Uh-huh.
And so the person that's in charge of the luggage is like, "Hey, that shit's already locked down. It's going to L.A.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go down there and wait for it, or have someone go wait for it for you."
Yeah, you had your chance to grab your shit and get out.
Yeah, but gee, that's pretty much I hope that wasn't too long of a story, but that's pretty much the gist of what had happened and what I seen.
No, but I agree too, though. He's trying to turn it into more of a race thing, right? Mm-hmm. So.
Well, he was on the phone with his lawyer.
Yeah. Trying to turn it into that.
He's already on the phone, and he was calm. He wasn't like.
Yeah, it wasn't acting
being belligerent to anybody or being an asshole to the police, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was, okay, sounds good. He said give a couple of fuck yous to everybody, other passengers that were on the plane. Me, myself, I've never been on a first class situation. I've always been in where you don't got that kind of scratch that's going to pay for that first class.
Yeah, regular ass class.
Yeah. I mean, did you see where he was at, dude? He had a fucking TV, he had a couch,
pillows, all that shit.
Back there, you're waiting, when you're waiting on the plane, you don't want to be fucking, you're hoping you don't sit by that, that smelly guy that's getting on the airplane and stuff. And I know my girlfriend and I, we'd be talking about whenever we sit in the back when we went to Hawaii the last time that we were sitting there and we knew we had an extra seat by us. And we're looking at this guy coming down. I go, golly, I know that fucker stinks. You know what I mean? Like, he's a big dude. And, and he's sweaty. And he's trying to, and those fucking aisles are small. And he's squeezing in there. And, and I can talk about fat people because I'm fat myself, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, me and my girlfriend were like crossing our fucking fingers like, man, we hope
please
this
not our eye.
Yeah, not here, dude. I don't know if you've ever been on that type of situation, but it sucks ass.
That usually happens to me when I go to concerts to be the viewer.
Yeah.
It's usually a guy with a dog for some odd reason that comes to
dog?
the. Yeah, I've ran into at least 3 shows in the last year or so where
people are taking their dog
took
to
their
a
dog
fucking show.
exactly right. Take their dog to the show, barking the whole time at every little noise that's going on, and
that's bullshit. No one says anything.
Nobody says anything because they don't want to start a big ass fight.
Man, that's bullshit. Not only that, nothing. No offense to the dog.
Yeah,
but fuck that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
dog don't know what's going on.
Yeah, dog don't know what's going on. Plus his ears, dude.
Yeah,
Dog
loud
got
noises.
sensitive fucking ears. And
Yeah, you take him to a concert. What do you think they're gonna do?
Yeah, he's gonna blow the shit out of his head, right? So, but back to the Odell thing. He doesn't have a team right now. He's trying to go with the Cowboys, and they're saying. What their thought is, I don't know if it's the money thing where he's asking for this X amount of dollars, but they're not agreeing to what he wants.
His terms.
Yeah, his terms. There you go, to his terms. So there's that's still up in the air to see where he's at with that. But I'm trying to as we're talking right now, I'm over here fucking trying to find where I had it. I was looking it up earlier. But Cowboys owner Jerry Jones acknowledged Tuesday. This was on December 21st of last year, that the odds of the team signing Beckham, for his knee this season are decreasing. And the reality is, though that time is moving on down the road, relative to playing in the playoffs, and so every day diminishes our chances of going forward with Beckham. So in other words, he's done, dude.
Yeah,
they don't need him. They got a great squad right now.
Yeah, he's a big media problem,
Yeah, and tell me this. He's fucking always hitting like a team that, okay, he's probably going, okay, who's going to make the playoffs? When he went to the Rams, they were about ready to go to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's like he didn't fucking put the work in. He just rode that train when they got there. He goes, okay, where's my fucking ring at,
You weren't here when we baked the bread, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. So there you go.
But yeah, there you go, Odell Beckham Jr. That's the situation there. So bringing up that, by the time this podcast comes out, you're not gonna. I mean, the playoffs are gonna be over and everything. So we're gonna kind of come up with our Super Bowl picks, who we think is gonna make it to the Super Bowl, which 2 teams. And I'll tell you right now, at least currently, the Jags are gonna be going against the Chiefs this upcoming weekend. Bengals and Bills, Giants and Eagles, and Cowboys and 49ers.
Okay.
So out of these folks, let's see who.
Now, do you remember the Patriots when they played the Falcons and they had that? I think it was like 28-0.
Yeah.
Up until the end of the Super Bowl there, and then they came back and whooped their ass. You remember that?
I do.
Okay, that's exactly what happened to the Chargers with the Jaguars. Did you see that game?
I didn't even see that. Okay. The Chargers didn't do too good last week.
Well, the Chargers were beating the shit out of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like 28-0. All of a sudden, the Jags fucking got a fire in their ass in the second half. I didn't see the game either, but I was watching the stats on the TV and ESPN. And the motherfuckers come back, and they win 31-30. So now,
like a Broncos situation.
Yeah. Well, the infamous Super Bowl thing with the Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons, where what's his name? Fucking, I can't even think of his name right now. He played quarterback for. He was their quarterback. Matt Ryan, not Matt Ryan. Is it Matt Ryan?
I think it was Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan, huh? And he's like known for Fucking
The comeback.
blowing a lead like that. Well, now the fucking Chargers now have taken that torch. They're saying, yeah, we fucked that. Now we're out of the playoffs. We let the Jags beat us. Jags ain't even that fucking great. I don't even know how they got there, bro.
I mean, I'm a Broncos fan myself, but the Broncos
Tough one, man.
almost beat them. So
Yeah.
But yeah, the Broncos have been losing by a point or two this whole season.
You guys are struggling hard, man. But you know what? I see a future with Russell Wilson. Now you're probably gonna go, fuck that guy.
I actually like Russell Wilson. I think he just between the coaching and I don't know, he just wasn't. I could tell he just wasn't feeling it just when he's out there.
Well,
didn't have the team support. I think.
I think I seen something on Facebook where the coach says, it's hard to coach a guy who has more bathrooms in his house than he has touchdowns, so to speak. So in other words, you can't tell this motherfucker because he's making a grip ton of money, more than the coach is, and his importance is more important than that coach itself, right? So how can you tell somebody? It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like there's no way that fucking coach can scold him. You can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he could say, hey, man, I'm the franchise here. I'm the fucking Bronco. Let's ride. I'm the one that brought that, saying here. There's no way. You ain't going to do nothing. Your time here as a coach is, once I say it's done, you're done. But I think with the Broncos, I think you guys are going to have a great team next year.
Let's hope so.
Your coach, you guys are getting a new coach. You guys are still, Sean Payton, I hear, is going to be interviewing with you guys. The guy from New Orleans Saints, and he's worth a ton of money. Someone was telling me at my job, at least today, and I said, well, fucking Broncos got Walmart money. You know what Walmart money is? It's fuck you money. You know what I mean? It's a shit ton of money. So, I see a lot of good things happening for Denver next year, man. So, what do you think? You think you guys are on a...
I was really hoping that was going to be this year when we were thinking about that when we had Russell, but I don't know. It was a lot of injuries at the beginning of the year that didn't help at all, and then bad decision making, and really especially those first few games. There was a lot of games that I feel like we could have won just by making different decisions, But I mean, what can you say? I think there is a good chance that it could be a lot better next year, like you said, with the new coach, and maybe they'll get a couple of picks.
Well, you're probably like how I was. If no one knows, and you guys will probably laugh about this too, is I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. I've been since I was a kid. Why? I couldn't tell you. The only thing I could tell you is, I'm a musician, I'm a rock and roller, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland, Ohio. I guess I gravitated towards that. Plus, it was this is a lot earlier, because you're a lot younger than I am, so this was Bernie Kosar years. And that was the first AFC championship with the Denver Broncos. You remember that? The Cleveland Browns and the Denver Broncos, and you guys won and went to the Super Bowl.
And like Dan Reeves or
something?
Yeah.
And that was back in, I believe it was in 88.
Yeah.
So anyway, when we got Odell, I was like, fuck, hey, we're going to Super Bowl. You probably thought the same thing. Russell Wilson, hey, we're going to Super Bowl. There's no way we're not going to miss on this. But the thing is, you got a whole fucking team that has to also produce as well. You know?
It can't be one guy carrying the whole team.
Yeah, but I think like that too. I always thought, oh shit, we're on our way, man. Finally, I get my break, But back to the playoff thing, I mean, okay, these are last night's. This was from this week's game, and then you can go over the stats if you want. So San Francisco took care of the Seahawks, which I'm glad. I chose that, 41-23. Of course, the Jags beat the Chargers, right? 31-30. And here, go Bills, man. Buffalo, I'm loving Buffalo. Miami, they beat Miami 34-31. The Giants beat the Minnesota Vikings 31-24. Cincinnati Bengals 24 to the Baltimore Ravens 17. Now there's something about that I'm about to talk to you about and tell me what you think. And then Monday night's game was an embarrassment. Dallas Cowboys 31, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 14. Now everybody hates Brady as much as everybody hates the Dallas Cowboys. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Fucking everybody's a Cowboys fan, or I'm not a Cowboys fan on Monday.
Exactly.
But Baltimore Ravens, okay, Lamar Jackson. Quarterback. Okay, he's in negotiations for a major contract. Baltimore has told him, "Fuck you! It's not going to happen. It's not. You're going to have to, You've been injured a few times during the year. I'm just assuming is what they think because they haven't given him the money yet. And Lamar's, he's badass, man. When that guy's on, he's on. He can literally carry that team and make a win. Now they make the playoffs. Lamar hurts his knee, supposedly. Why hurts his knee? And he's like, fuck, I'm going to be out for like 3 games. I'll see you guys in the playoffs. Playoffs come. He's like, still not feeling it. Still not feeling it. And he did a tweet on Twitter saying, you know what? You need to start taking care of your people, your most important people that are on your team. And that most important person that's on your team will take care of you, in other words. Mm-hmm. So in other words, the way I got from that was Lamar saying, you know, fuck you. My name, he might be good, but let me see how you do without me on that game, which showed they blew it without Lamar. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that, about him holding out? And, you know, what do you think about that kind of shit? You think it's dickish, or it's like, hey, give me my money, give the guy his money. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's business, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if he's that talented to that point and he can hold back and they actually lose over it, I think that he did what he had to do.
Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like the foot on the neck. You know? Like
that's kind of the case with a lot of these players, though.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, you guys fucking needed me for that game, and they did. Because Huntley blew the fucking game. That guy was an idiot during the game. I'm sorry. You know, so that's how that goes. So you want to do some picks here or what? You want to see, you know, Saturday's games.
Yeah, it's going to be, Jags versus Chiefs, right?
Yeah, dude, there's no way Jacksonville's going to fucking take Kansas City. There's no way in hell.
They barely made it in.
Yeah. So
they squeaked in there.
Do I want the Chiefs to lose? Yes.
Same here.
I can't stand Patrick Mahomes, dude. You know, is he a nice guy? He probably is a nice guy, you know. The guy's a fucking cocky dude, man. Am I right or am I right? I mean, he's like, dude, you're badass. Yeah, we know it. But, you know, he's a little full of himself, I think, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of how Tom Brady is, too.
And then his brother. But Tom Brady don't got a fucking annoying brother and shit, you know.
Patrick Mahomes has a brother?
Yeah, remember he was doing all that TikTok shit with his brother. And
I guess
I thought you would have known that.
Guess not.
But anyway, so there's that pick. You and I are both choosing Chiefs. Giants and Philly. I'll take Philly.
I haven't seen Philly really play this year, to be honest with you.
Philly's strong. Philly is strong right now. Giants are in there. Either Giants or Minnesota, if they had got in there to this game, it's just to see who loses against Philadelphia. That's what that last game was. Like, who's going to go to the next round to lose to Philadelphia?
Oh, I got you.
So I'm taking Philadelphia against the Giants.
Well, I'll agree with you on that one, since I'm a little in the dark.
Sunday, you got Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills.
Bills, I think, in my opinion.
I'm with the Bills as well. Cincinnati's strong. You know, they got Joe Burrow as a quarterback. He's pretty good. Their offense is okay, but they struggled against Baltimore. And, you know, when I was telling you about Baltimore, it wasn't that strong. But I'm pulling for the Bills. Here's another one. Dallas Cowboys and the Buccaneers were playing last night to see who loses to San Francisco. So that's what it is, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no way in fucking hell Dallas is going to take San Francisco.
I'm pretty amazed Dallas made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, you and me both. Dallas is the only fucking team I know that could get to the playoffs with an 8-8 record. You know, like they could bat 500, you know, and still make it. Everybody else is struggling. Everybody else is struggling to make it. But I'll take the Niners for that. Now.
So on that.
So what you're saying is you're taking Kansas City against Buffalo in the AFC Championship. All right? Mm-hmm. So who are you going to take? Bills or Kansas City? You already know my pick. It's going to be Bills.
I want to say it's going to be the Bills, but I think we both know.
You really think that Kansas City could pull it off?
I don't know. They've been getting there.
Yeah, but Kansas City's always screwed the pooch a couple of times, you know.
I don't know.
We're talking the best of the best now coming into the AFC Championship. You know. So, hey, you know, it's cool if you want to pick the Chiefs.
I'm going to say the Chiefs.
All right, you'll take Chiefs. I'll take the Bills. All right?
To be the underdog. No.
All right, that's all right. No, hey, dude, you might.
Never know.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Well, anyway. So are you taking the Giants against Philly?
I think, like you said, Philly probably would do it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking Philly and San Francisco are going to go in the NFC Championship. Who are you going to take?
Then I'd probably
That's
give the
gonna be a
Niners.
fucking hell of a game
Yeah.
right there, man. I'll take
Niners have been
Philadelphia.
doing really good this year. You think it's Philadelphia?
You know what? That's what I'm trying to tell you. I think it's going to be a strong pool. You know, you're thinking this, I'm thinking that, and I believe it's going to be. My pick is going to be the Bills and Philadelphia and the Super Bowl.
Wow.
You're thinking Chiefs and the Niners in the
Chiefs
Super
and
Bowl,
Niners maybe.
right? So
I've always
that's
been a
your pick?
Niners fan though. That's like my second team that I like.
Dig the Niners?
I do like the Niners.
When they had the gold jerseys?
Back in the day, well, like Steve Young.
Yeah,
for
the
all
gold
that.
jerseys
Yeah,
and shit.
exactly.
So,
So there we go. That's what we're thinking right there.
I remember back in the 70s, bro, when the Raiders, you know, I remember when,
Was that Bo Jackson?
Alzado
or
was there.
Or that was 80s, huh?
yeah, no, it was 80s, but I remember when Alzado was a part of the Raiders. And I remember the time when Alzado ripped that guy's helmet off in New York for the New York Jets. Took the guy's helmet off, ripped it off his head, and then threw it at him. And they got a thing called the Alzado rule. It's in the rule book now, and it's called, you know, you can't use a helmet as a weapon, and that's what he did. And the guy that got the helmet ripped off, they asked him, what did you do? He goes, I didn't fucking do anything. I was just blocking the guy, and he went off on me, you know. And so, you know, Alzado was full of steroids. So
I was back in the day
yeah, that
before
was back
they
in the
cared.
day where you didn't have to do shit.
There wasn't even any like they could hit you as hard as they wanted to. And
Yeah, oh yeah, that was when it was football. You know what I mean?
That was
They
the
gouge
iron.
people's eyes. Well, Romanowski for the Broncos,
Yeah.
I read an interview on him. Whenever they have like a dog pile, you know, whenever the fumble and everybody's fucking jumping on each other and stuff, and they say that ball exchange hands at least a dozen times, right? Well, he was the guy that would fucking break people's fingers while they're under, because no one's not gonna see it.
Yeah.
He's underneath, and he's trying to snap some guy's fingers.
he's pretty vicious.
Yeah, exactly. Was he a great, linebacker? Hell yeah, man. He was a beast. He was a beast.
He played for the Niners too for a while.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right on.
So one thing that you play on your show a lot is well, you know a lot about this is like hair metal and metal in general, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are some of your?
That was my era. I was in the Hollywood area when it was humongous and the Sunset days. You know, downtown Hollywood, Gazzari's. You know, all the famous, the Rainbow, the Whiskey Go Go. When all these clubs were happening, man, I was playing clubs when we used to open for bands like Guns N' Roses. Believe it or not. I was in Fresno, California at the time, and we were playing a club called Louis Zoo. Guns N' Roses was barely coming up. I didn't know nothing about Guns N' Roses. And they go, hey, we're bringing this band in. They just got signed, da-da-da. Stage was probably, what did you say, about a foot or so? And that's how big the stage was that we were playing. And the drum riser, it was so high and next to the roof, you know, people were punching holes in the ceiling, you know, because it was so low. And of course, everybody getting fucked up. There was a time of glitz, glam, and partying, man. It was good times. It was good times back then. Anyway, Guns comes in and they do their show, and they were a very poor band at that time. I remember Steven Adler at the time was playing. He was a drummer for them. He was playing one bass drum. He had one bass drum, a snare, a hi-hat, and one cymbal. That's all he can afford. And the following year, they blew up.
Wow.
With that Appetite for Destruction. I remember when Poison was first getting started. I remember when Warrant. These acts all came at the same time, you know. That was a good, I'm telling you, G, that was a great time. That was a great era to be growing up in. Glam music is glitzy and it's dumb. It's bubblegumish. But they got hooks.
Yeah.
You know, there's a formula to everything. Don't you agree?
I agree.
Like on music. You know, I grew up in the era when Van Halen was first starting out. Stuff like that. But yeah, I know you like glam music too. I mean,
I do.
My favorite artist, I would say back then, if you put a finger on it, of course, the infamous Motley Crue was always my number one. It's the reason why I started playing drums was because of Tommy Lee. And then everybody else comes second, I would say. You know, it was just so many bands at that time, so many. And back in the day in Hollywood, like if you're a musician, everybody's looking for an artist or a bass player, guitar player, drummer. We put all these flyers up, say, hey, Sex Sin, the name of the band, Sex Sin. I was in a band called Kid Gypsy at the time. That's why I tell you on the radio when I go from the original Kid Gypsy, we're gonna play some Gypsy, But anywho, because we didn't have social media back then.
Oh yeah.
You only had
Word of
access
mouth.
to newspaper, or put a flyer up says, hey, we need a band, and hopefully someone sees it. And on the flyers, I wish I could have saved some of them. It would say, it have its description of what you needed to do in order to join my band. So I would say, okay, do any of these check off on yourself? Long hair, willing to wear makeup, willing to wear cowboy boots, leather pants, stuff like that. Anyway, long list. Do this, wear lipstick, hang out with the chicks, and then musician was like way down here. You know what I mean?
That was the the smallest qualification.
Yeah, can you play guitar? If not, we'll kind of teach you. But that's how it was. That's how it was back then. And
Yeah, it was more of the look than it was about
it was
the
more
skills.
about the look. The image was big. It was big, and it still is to this day. Like I took my girlfriend out there to Hollywood to show her, what it was like, because everybody thinks Hollywood, movie stars, glitz, and all this kind of shit. It smells
different
like,
now.
dude. It smells like piss and shit. Because there's so many bums that live there. Image is everything, G. Image, as an artist, is everything. You could be a badass musician, and I got a friend who's a badass musician. He was on The Voice. He's over 50 now. He's always been heavy set. He's got the length of the hair. No one wants him. No one wants him. And he never had a job in his life, ever. That's it. That's all he's done is play music.
Music was his life.
So it's a sad thing, because you know what? The
It
door is, just that hole to get into it is so small,
Especially these days with digital music, you're swimming against a sea of tons and tons and tons of musicians.
That's why, with someone like you that promote yourself and do these small tours and write, a lot of these guys, and you and I know a certain individual that writes their material, and they're thinking they're going to come to the fucking valley and look for them and say, okay, I'll take that guy. There's a shit ton in Denver right now of artists. There's a
so
shit
many.
ton in Springs right now. There's a shit ton back in Hollywood, man, that are either as good as you are or 10 times better than you are. That are hungry enough to do it,
That's the thing, is those guys, the ones that are willing to not work and make
Live
their
in a
life.
car,
Yeah.
live in a car, yeah.
They're
of
the
course.
ones that are going to actually, have more of a chance of making it at least.
Just a chance, yeah. And what's the chances of you make it? One in a million, bro. It's
That's
very
really it.
small, man. It's a tough road. I had opportunity on a couple of tours that I was able to do, opportunities for me, and I thought, fuck, this is it, because I had that same vision, like, man, I'm gonna be able to do this. I'm gonna be a rock star, because G, when you started doing this, you had heroes in your industry, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And you're going, fuck, man, that guy's badass. I want to be like him. I want to rap like him. I want to be able to write like him. I want my sound to be like him, right? Am I correct on that? Because you have a vision. You can't have talent without inspiration. You get me on that?
Yeah, for sure.
Look, you got to learn from somebody. You just can't fucking snap a finger. Okay, G, you're the baddest fucking rapper I know. No, you had to
I'm
learn.
I'm my own favorite rapper.
Yeah, you're your own legend. But you had to learn that from somebody.
Yeah, everybody does, definitely.
Like who was your guy? Who'd you learn from? Who was your go-to guy?
Probably, I'd say Slug from Atmosphere, or Guru from Gangstar. Those are the ones I still to this day.
No,
I
right
draw
on.
inspiration from them.
And your writing comes from that, probably.
Probably.
That
At
kind of
least some of
process,
it.
like your cadence, certain ideas. Of course, you're going to throw your own little bit in it. For myself, that's just how it is. You got your heroes, and that's what I thought at the time. And then My ex-wife now, but she ended up getting pregnant, and that's where the fucking dream went. Went right down the fucking drain. I was like, well, there goes that, man. I got to cut my hair and get a real job,
That's usually the case.
Yeah, usually it's the case.
But
how did you get into hair metal? What was your thing? I know you dig it, man.
Yeah. I grew up on hair metal, too. So my aunt, actually, she used to babysit us. That's what she would throw on.
Oh,
She'd
really?
bust out Cinderella and Guns N' Roses and
Yeah.
Metallica and Motley Crue and all those guys too. So I grew up on all of that, and I actually didn't even listen to rap for like the longest time. I think I was probably like 11, 12 by the time I actually started listening to rap, and it was more like gangster rap that I was into when I first
So
started.
you're a rocker before you're a rapper.
Yeah, exactly. I still like chilling out. I usually listen to rock and old school hip hop.
Sure.
Those are the two I kind of listen to in my Spotify playlist. But I
It's
don't really
good.
care for this new stuff too much. I mean, I give props to all the good musicians that are coming out these days, but personally, like in my own personal time, I like to listen to old school shit,
Sure.
both rock and hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, of course, but you got to always remember, man, you're getting older. So a lot
Yeah.
of those younger generation are telling you, man, you're an old man. You're listening
Yeah,
to that old
exactly.
shit. You know what I mean? You kind of go, what? What are you talking about? Like the shit we listen to is now called classic rock.
It is. Yeah, they're
You know?
even considering like 80s music oldies now.
Yeah, oldies. And I'm going, fuck. That must mean I'm old as fuck, which I know I am, but.
All these days, unless you're in your 20s or younger, you're not young,
Yeah.
I guess, anymore. As soon as you hit 30, you're old already.
So who
pretty
turned
much.
you on to gangster rap?
It was my cousins, actually, and they were already, like, they were from Denver and stuff, so they were already rapping, and they were doing, like, freestyle, like, sessions and stuff like that, cypher sessions, and I just thought they were always cool. I would sit there and watch them, and I was still too young to really do much. I was probably, like, about 12 years old, and then they listened to a lot of gangster rap and stuff like that, and so I would borrow some of their tapes or their CDs, and I'd go home and listen to that, and I'd come back and, try to be cool because I knew the words or whatever, and I always wanted to freestyle with them, but I thought they were too good, and I didn't want to jump in and get clowned on,
Yeah, they'd
So-
be going, get out of here, you little kid.
Exactly, or just clown on me or whatever, that's
Yeah.
So I kind of just kept, like, working on it in the secret, and then eventually I finally got to the point where I felt enough confidence to rap for them, and they actually liked it, so I just kept doing stuff with them, and we just kept learning more and more from there, and I was real nervous, and then I spit something, and they liked it, and I just kept doing it after that. I felt confidence, that was really the biggest thing is the confidence, because the thing with a lot of people, when they lose their confidence right when they first start, they never gain that shit back, It's real hard to, like, enjoy your own stuff. I don't know, like, unless you're just real narcissist or something like that, but to, like, really enjoy your voice, really enjoy, like, how you deliver shit, anything, really. So
Were they encouraging, or were they like, get the fuck out of here with your shit?
they were at first encouraging and stuff like that, and then I think I kind of started sailing past what they were doing, because
Yeah.
they just freestyle and jack around and never do anything, and I actually started renting
So
out
none of
studio
your
time.
cousins have any records out right now?
No, they stopped doing music. I actually don't even talk to them anymore, so
Oh, that's a bummer, man.
yeah, I had a little falling out with them too.
Oh, shit, I'm sorry.
Oh, it happens,
Dug too deep.
Oh, no, it's all good. It happens. It's been years and years from that stuff, but I don't know. All that stuff is more, I think, motivation for me, if anything.
Yeah,
Of
of course.
and falling out with people and stuff. Like, I've had, like, when we first started, we were like Wu-Tang Clan. We had like 8 people in our crew, and we'd hit the stage, and
Yeah, give me that, because it was $8,000 or 800.
well, 8,000 feet is what we call
8,000
it.
feet. Yeah, it's all
8
right.
grand is what we call ourselves now, because it's just two
Yeah,
of
yeah.
us. But speaking of that, actually, I've been watching this Wu-Tang series. I don't know if you've heard of it yet.
Yeah.
It's they're on season 3 now, but I've been watching the series, and it just kind of like brings me back to a lot of those same situations. I'm not trying to say we're like Wu-Tang at all, like, but there was times like that because we had such a huge crew where we would show up to the venue and they wouldn't let all of us in. They said, "Nah, 4 of you guys could come in and perform."
No shit.
Yeah, and the other 4 would be like, "Nah," or they would cut our set short. Like they'd agree with a 20-minute set, and then we'd show up and they'd be like, "Nah, you could do 2 songs." Or whatever, trying to get 8 people to do all these little short sets. We ran into a ton of problems where we fought with each other, and yeah, like some of the crew would go off and start booking their own gigs on the same gig we were already in as a crew.
They're fucking themselves.
Yeah, just to try to get like a more of a spotlight or whatever. Just all this different weird shit that.
Well, that's a shit ton of people.
That's a lot of people, and it's really hard. I mean, if you watch that Wu-Tang series, like, go check that out and see how they deal with shit. They're constantly at each other's
Did you
throats.
guys have money issues because of it?
More towards the end, because when we first started out, we were just making like demos and stuff, trying to get gigs, and then we started actually doing a record we called the Year of the Eight, and it came out in 2008.
Yeah, right.
I don't have it out on anything like that. It's like I have the CD myself, obviously, and I have to show it to you, I guess.
You can't. We can't play that on the station, or no?
Not really. So we never put it out because there's so many people on it. We can't get permission from all the different people on it.
Bullshit.
It does. It's one of those CDs that's always gonna stay
Hidden,
I guess, or it's gonna be like a
burner.
lost tape, you know.
Be on the back burner, yeah.
But yeah, that's what we did. We put that CD together. It took us like a year to put it together, and we all, we pressed CDs up like that, and actually had consignment with like independent records and a couple other places, and we were making money off of it like that. But it's somebody always wants more than the others, you know.
Sure.
So we had people.
So did Derek work for you guys then too?
Yeah, Derek was always we had two producers actually back then, and DRK.
So he was there from the beginning.
Yeah, he was the originator. Me, him, and then we had another guy named Adam, or KB, who used to be part of the crew. It was us three to start off with, and then we started adding more and more people to it. And then by the time we knew, we had like 8 people, two producers.
So what did he have? Did he have a drum machine and all that? And then you guys would
we started off with just a little
like
drum
in a room
machine.
like this, and you guys are fucking like, all right, give me whatever you know, Derek, and he's all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then
Well,
you're
usually
like,
he'd already have beats already kind of pre-made, more or less. He'd be working on the night before, and then we'd come to the studio the next day, and he would just pull out what he already had, and then we would kind of like choose, something that he only had like a little small 30-second sample. I'd be like, okay, let's add this and this and this, and build it up to have like 2 verses and 2 choruses, intro, outro, all that shit. So that's when he would kind of put it together, and we would create the song that way. And then usually it seems like we would have like 2 people on the song, and we'd feel like it was done, And then we go to work or something and come back, and then other people jumped in the studio. By the time we knew, we had like 6 verses on this one song, and we'd have to start cutting verses because it was too long,
Yeah, I think a song is only supposed to be 3 minutes long, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, people lose interest in a song after about 3 minutes or so, unless you have.
But that's not traditionally like 2.5 minutes, 3
Yeah,
minutes.
it really is though. Especially these days, they like short. So people are into short
you guys
music.
are fucking put music out 20, 25
Yeah, it
minutes
was
long.
ridiculous.
It's like a rock concert,
And like, not even dissing like my old crew or anything, but they're like, like half of us didn't have enough skills to even be on the album in the first place. At least on that song or whatever, we'd have to go with whoever the top ones, and that would always be a fight, who got to stay on the song,
Yeah.
So sometimes we'd even come out with like remixes. We'd be like, okay, well, this is gonna be the song that's gonna be on the album, but here's the remix with all of us together on it to make you guys happy.
Dickish move.
Yeah, it kind of is, but it's
I'll
like,
give you guys the fucking crumbs, I'll take.
Just something. But I hated doing that shit. To be honest with you, all that whole group shit is just chaos, And we would fight over. At the end of the day, splitting. I don't know. Let's say we got paid $400, splitting $400 between 8 people,
Fuck.
plus all the hotel room and all that
hotel,
shit.
Food,
We would usually just barely break even, if that. And I remember there was times where we'd be on tour and have to sell the equipment we had just to get back.
No shit.
Yeah, I remember selling this really nice this sound pedal I had that had like all kinds of really dope ass effects on it and stuff like that. I used to use it for live concerts.
Yeah.
And I had to get rid of that one time because we were out of gas and we were like stuck in Pueblo and we still had to come back. So sold that for like dirt cheap, of course.
Oh, fuck.
A pawn shop
I think
didn't give you shit.
I think I gotta fucking walk, man. There's a fuck that.
So so stuff like that. I mean, that's the things you go through as a musician over the years. I think I've gotten so much equipment, lost it. I've gotten robbed for equipment. I've gotten it back. It's been nuts.
Being a musician, you're always gonna be in the fucking red. You're never gonna be in the black.
Yeah.
And you know it.
Until you're making bank.
Yeah,
so
but you gotta fucking be up there with bigs, Us
exactly.
as peons around here, you're spending money for your dream, for your passion, so to speak, But unless it hits, you're going to continue paying it. And you will do it with a smile on your face because it's what you love to do.
I was kind of bringing up the show I've been watching recently. What kind of shows have you been watching or movies have you been into lately?
I've been on the Paramount Plus kick. Of course, I don't know if you've been watching it, but Yellowstone, got all that down.
Started kind of watching it, yeah.
You kind of watching it? Okay.
I live it, bro. That's how I grew up.
Yeah, really? Shit.
Well, all that kind of cowboy shit,
No,
on the
shit,
ranch
really?
and all that. Oh, yeah.
Gee.
Oh, yeah.
But 1883, we got all that out of the way. That's like the beginning of Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Then 1923 is a new series, which is part of the Yellowstone series, and it's all telling you how it became what it became. And then the main shit, I'm digging it, is Tulsa King.
I feel like Rip Van Winkle. You wake up after 25 years, GM is going electric, Dylan's going public. A phone. There's a camera. Come on. And these pronouns. What the fuck is with the pronouns?
Oh, you like it?
Fuck, that's a badass show, dude. When I first seen Sylvester Stallone coming out on the, Sylvester Stallone, Tulsa Cat, I was like, oh, I told my girlfriend, this is gonna suck. You know what I mean? I mean, he's Rocky to me. That's it.
Yeah.
And then as the Rockies came about, you know.
He's supposed to be a mob boss, right?
Yeah, he's a mob boss. And it's fucking great. I'm telling you, have you seen it?
I've seen an episode. I liked it, but...
Do you have Paramount Plus?
I did. I got rid of it. That's the reason I only got it through an episode. I might have to get it back.
Yeah, get it back.
But, the only thing about Tulsa King is that, like, he kind of shows up. He's in his town by himself, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, how it rolls is, the premise of it is, he's part of this family mafia.
Yeah.
And his brother's dying. His brother's like the Don. Sylvester Stallone, his name's Dwight, which I never heard of an Italian named Dwight before, you know. And anyway, he ends up fucking killing somebody to help somebody out, and he ends up getting pinched for it. So he does 25 years. So when he gets out, his brother's like, hey, we're sending you to fucking Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, you're no longer wanted in New York. So in other words, you're going out there to die. In other words, there's nothing for you out there, but we just want to get rid of you. We can't kill you. So you're just, going to live the rest of your years there and fucking, you're not an importance to us.
Bumfuck Egypt.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much. And so his nephew is a prick, and he wants to take control of the family. He ends up killing the father. So fucking Sylvester Stallone, Dwight goes to Tulsa. And he's like trying to figure out, because he has to earn. They all have to earn. Wherever they go, they got to make sure they're earning money for the family. And so fucking, he's cruising around. He gets himself a driver. And the fucking driver's cool as fuck. This black dude, he's cool. They end up at one of those pot shops, like that we have here.
Dispensary.
They're a dispensary. So he walks in. He's like, hey, man, so where's the boss? And they go, he's over there in the back room. And so he goes in there and talks to the boss. And he goes, hey, this is how this plan's going to work out. You're going to pay me X amount of dollars for me to protect you.
Yeah, I just seen that. That was the thing that was the episode.
Yeah. That motherfucker's like, hey, there ain't nobody threatening my life, right? Because there isn't. Because it's legal to have the dispensary. And in other words, he's fucking muscling them. He's like,
yeah, but he don't got no pool yet.
Yeah. He's like, fucking, this is what you're gonna come up with, and if you don't, we're gonna have issues. But as the season goes on, they become friends, and Sylvester Stallone's telling this character, look, dude, if you get into business with me, I'll make you money hand over fist. I can do it if you allow me to do it. Yeah. And so the guy fucking takes a chance, unwillingly, because he doesn't want to, but he has to, or he's going to get fucking killed for it, right? Well, as the season goes on, man, they're having issues with this Irish biker gang, of course, traditional bullshit. And Dwight's the only one that knows how to run an army, for protection. He protects people. And it's a fucking great show, dude. It's a great...
I'm going to have to get a little bit more
into it. I strongly recommend it. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Just from the one episode I had seen, I started kind of hating on it a little bit, just because I was like, man, they always make these movies to where, like, this one guy, he's just such a bad motherfucker that he can't, like, bulletproof, you know what I mean? Like, he can't...
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
But I guess I got to watch more of the show, maybe.
Give it a chance. Give it a chance, because nothing's not going to be better than Godfather, man.
Well,
that's my all-time favorite movie. And I thank my girlfriend for that. I never was into Godfather. Never even heard about it. This fucker was from the 80s and shit.
Oh, yeah,
I just seen it, like the whole thing, like a few years back and stuff, and that's like my favorite movie, Godfather 1
I
and
love
2.
all the mafia movies and stuff like that. I got, I think, pretty much
What
all of
about
them.
you, man? What's your series?
I've just been into that Wu-Tang series, and I'm waiting for the 3rd one to come out, and then I've just been watching a bunch of, like, movies. It seems like all that they've been coming out with, though, is...
Okay, wait a minute. Let me take it back to the Wu-Tang. Is that a documentary?
No, what it is, it's like a biopic, kind of, but it's a series. So it's all about the Wu-Tang Clan, like all the shit that they went through, but it's actors playing them.
Oh, it's actors.
Yeah,
kind of like, what was that, Biggie Smalls
oh,
thing.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Notorious? Right?
Yeah, Notorious. Kind of
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
kind of like that. Or
Okay.
any of the biopics like that, yeah. So it's pretty good, though. It's like the guys play them pretty well.
That's cool, man.
And they were a big crew, so what they did is it's kind of like how we were, like, we had a producer, that like DRK was our producer, and just made a slew of beats. We'd just sit there going through samples all day. And that's how we used to do it back in the day, too. We would actually go to the college radio station, and we'd go raid their vinyl stash, because they just had it stacked up with all kinds of shit.
Oh,
and they
no
didn't
shit?
care. So we'd go raid it, and Derek would just go through it all night. We'd be there for like 5-6 hours sometimes.
No shit.
And I'd be DJing, and he'd be in the back going through all the vinyl, and he would take a big old stack that he liked for the night, and then we'd go and he'd go through every single one of those vinyls listening. We'd sit there and smoke out and listen to them and find samples, and then we'd start cutting into them and stuff like that, and then we'd take back all the vinyl that we didn't use finally, and then just kept doing that every week, and we had so many beats piled up, and then we started getting everybody involved and stuff. But that's how Wu-Tang Clan kind of did. They we had all these homies that didn't like each other. They were from different like gangs and everything. They would come in and work on a song with him, and then they would dip out, and then another one would come in and work on a song. And he started stacking up all these songs, and he started trying to get them to work with each other. And you know, that's all they did was butt heads all the time. Wanted to keep pulling guns on each other and shit at the studio.
Yeah, I get it.
It's pretty good though.
I'll check it out, dude.
Yeah, and I've been watching mostly like movies lately. A lot of horror movies that are coming out weirdly around the holidays. Did you watch the Weird Al Yankovic movie?
I tried.
You couldn't really get into it, huh?
You know, I think I need to give it another shot.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's not really like
Did
real
you like it?
serious. Yeah, it's like a spoof movie. So it's supposed to be funny. It's not really like.
Well, it's kind of like the Motley Crue movie. I read the book before they made the movie and shit. And I was telling my girlfriend, they could make a great movie out of that. They could out of that book. They didn't.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's
That
kind
was
of like a jokey.
That was a clown. That was a clown of a fucking movie.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking more towards the.
Real serious.
Remember
one.
Ray? Remember that movie Ray?
Yeah.
With Ray Charles, a movie about Ray Charles and
Yeah,
shit.
that was like a serious.
That
film.
was like serious. It was like realism, right? I mean, doing dope. You know, not making a joke about it. He was a womanizer, but not really making a joke about it. He had the troubles from it, right? Because he was fucking around his wife and this and that. But that's how I wanted the Motley Crue movie to do.
Yeah, and they probably could have like that, but they did make it like jokey. Now, Weird Al Yankovic movie's supposed to be jokey because he didn't really have any kind of hard upbringing or anything like that.
Yeah.
He just was a joke. He was always joking
Yeah,
around.
he was a Jewish guy. He was just a
it's
Jewish dude.
He just made parody songs or whatever, but.
But I'm really disappointed in the Motley Crue doc. You know, like the movie itself. You know, I wasn't digging it when I was disappointed in the fucking.
So you like a more serious?
Oh, it's got to be. You know how this is how I pictured that movie when it came out. I was picturing just like how Nikki Sixx's book came out, which is have you read The Dirt? Have you read that book, The Dirt?
I've never read the book, but I've heard of all the stories for sure.
Yeah, there's a part in there
ODs.
where it's during Christmas Eve, and you know he used to date that meeting in the ladies' room, Apollonia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he used to date Apollonia?
Yeah, he's fucker, man. They were once one of a kind. She actually is the one that I want to say she's actually the one that got him hooked on heroin.
Oh.
And
She was with Prince at one time, right?
Yeah. There's a part on how Nicky's doing his book. He's like, man, I'm sitting in my closet. I'm naked. I'm trying to find out fucking every vein in my body's pretty much dead from trying to shoot up, right? And, you know, and he's shooting his fucking dope up in his dick because that's the only thing he's got left, right? You know, and you could picture it. You know, this grimy dude fucking sitting in there fucking with the needle in the arm and shit. And then he's paranoid as fuck because he can't get high enough. You know what I mean? He's high as fuck, but he wants to go even higher because he's jonesing still. Yeah, he's still jonesing for it. That's how I envision that movie, you know, like fucking grimy guy, fucking, you know, dirty and, you know, throwing up and you know, he's a rock star. You
never know, they might still come out with something like that just based on him.
They fucked it. I tell you, they fucked that movie. They fucked it hard, man. So I'm very disappointed in the son bitch.
You know which one I want to see that you might actually even like too is that George and Tammy. Have you heard of that one yet?
Yeah, but it's on HBO. Dude.
Yeah, I actually have HBO, so I'm gonna have to start checking it
I'm
out.
gonna have to start coming over.
Oh, there you go.
Watching the show.
Yeah,
and
for
shit.
sure. I heard it's supposed to be pretty good.
I heard it's good. I heard it's good.
Michael Shannon is a really good actor, and he plays
Dude,
George.
those are some two ugly ass people.
Oh my god.
Am I right or am I right? I'm not trying to.
He is for sure. I guess I can't remember who the actress is that plays Tammy.
Dude, she's a bit of a feita too, man.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you that right now. I was telling my girl we'd laugh about this shit, and I go, man, those are two ugly motherfuckers.
I know Michael Shannon's definitely an ugly motherfucker.
But the actual George Jones, he was an ugly dude. The dude could sing.
Yeah.
You know.
That was kind of the case with a lot of those singers back in the day. They
really,
really good singers, but ugly as hell. Look at Aaron Neville. That's an ugly motherfucker right there.
Yeah, but he
could sing though.
Neville Brothers.
Yeah.
You have the Neville Brothers and Dumpster Funk. This is for you people out there. If you want to hear a badass band, Dumpster Funk.
Never heard of them.
They're all Neville family. A friend of mine back home, they went to a festival. And it was a blues festival, and all of a sudden, they go, hey, Dumpster Funk's coming. I was like, who? What the fuck is this, right? All of a sudden, this little kid, man, he's like 12 years old, gets on the drum kit, and he's laying it down, man. He's fucking just, it's so funky that it smells up there. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it was. And then the bass player come in, boom, doing his thing. But I highly recommend anything with Dumpster Funk on it. If you want to do that later on the podcast, play some of these artists that you and I are talking about, that'd be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do want to hear that.
But yeah, Neville, man. And why didn't he get that fucking mole taken off of his face? Why, G?
A lot of like I said, there's a lot of those musicians that just kept the same reason, I guess, why like Owen Wilson hasn't fixed that fucking nose yet.
What happened to his nose?
I'm sure somebody busted his ass open.
Is there's no info on that shit?
I'm sure there is something on that, but I
do
know
nose.
that they've done an interview and asked him why he didn't do it, and he says because it's his signature shit. That's.
I don't know if I would do that. Like fucking, I would try to better myself because they all got new teeth. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the case with a lot of them. They do kind of fix themselves up, but I guess if you get famous looking like that, you kind of got to keep that look just to kind of maintain it.
They also, what's his name said it from Queen to Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
That's why his teeth were all. He had that overbite.
I don't know how the hell he sung through that shit.
He says if they did that, he goes, it'd change my voice. And you don't want. That's where he makes his money out. So I can understand that. But getting a mole ripped off your face, I don't see how that's gonna fucking change it. That stuff's nasty, bro. That's on his face.
He just thought if he worked out hard enough, he had them big ass muscles, everybody stopped looking at.
No, it almost like the fucking spy that shagged me, when he's all looking at that guy's mole on his face.
Mole. So, well, speaking of that, jacking around, we were kind of talking about this. The last time I hung out with you, but the first time you got high. Because I took a couple of edibles before we got started here.
Yeah, how they go? How they hold?
Not too bad. I took their Good Tide, mango flavored cannabis infused gummies.
Well, tell them about remember when you were at the radio station? You go, man, Chris, I was getting high and I was doing my thing, smoking out, and then you drank something.
Oh yeah, I was drinking some of that Keef Cola, and that I never had that before. I can handle edibles pretty good, but
well, what happened though?
I drank it too fast, I think is what it was, because I should have took my time with it.
Drank it too fast.
But then I added everything else to it. I smoked a big joint, then I drank that, and then I was pretty out pretty early.
Did you start hearing shit? Do you ever get so high where everything's fucking wavy and shit?
I've never got that high before. I guess usually if I get too high, I get like panic attacks and shit like that, where I feel like I'm not breathing or something. But I'm breathing the whole time or some dumb shit.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't
when you
know.
get high, you're like, man, am I going to stop breathing?
Yeah.
You think like that, huh?
You do think like that.
Oh,
I don't know. I guess all the weird shit that you wouldn't think of normally, you think of.
Well, my thing is my story went, and my mom, even if she heard this, I even told her this because my mom knows I don't get high or anything, so I had to work 2 jobs. And they were for personal reasons, so I had to get another job, and I had to quit radio, remember? And I told you, gee, I can't do this for a minute. I have to go get another job,
Mm-hmm.
So my job consists of my real job consists of getting up really early. I got 2 a.m. And I had to have another job, so I was washing dishes last night at a place used to have around here called El Chato. And they were a customer of mine. I used to deliver the buns there and stuff. And so I was washing dishes for him. I was putting in 30 hours plus my 40 hours, and I wouldn't get home till 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I'd be up by 2, and I was getting fucking drained, dude. I mean, I was falling asleep, man. My girlfriend, we fucking, on days off, I had one day off during the week, we'd try to go watch a movie or something, forget about it. I was gone. I would, like, pass out. I was working one day, and a friend of mine that lives out, you probably know Luis Medina out in Antonito. Luis is a real good friend of mine. So I was telling Luis, I go, man, I'm fucking tired, bro. I can't even focus. And he's like, well, you know what, Chris? If you take these edibles, there's 2 kinds. There's indica, and there's sativa.
Sativa, yep.
Sativa, okay. He goes, the indica you don't want because that'll make you go to sleep. He goes, but the sativa, it'll make you real aware of things, Artists take them all the time, so they can write, they can draw, and all that kind of shit. And I was thinking, well, fuck, that's what I need, right? That's what I need. I need some energy, I thought. Well, his energy and my energy were 2 different things that we were talking about. So he goes, okay, so he hooks me up. And they were the square gels. They're real soft. They're kind of like Jell-O, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, he goes, all right, Chris, so when you get home, since you don't do this, I haven't smoked pot since I was like 18 or something like that. And so he's like, take a quarter of it. Well, I never heard him say take a fucking quarter of it. I heard him say take half, right? and I'm the type of guy I have a high tolerance, so.
Well, I'll take the whole thing.
Yeah. I said, well, fuck, if a half's going to be okay, a full one will do me just right? So.
Like the worst shit that.
Yeah. So I'm fucking, I had to go to work. I got 4 o'clock that day and to go wash dishes. It's not a fucking hard job. And, there's 2 separate rooms. There's a dish room where they do the dishes, and there's a cook's room is in a different room. Then you got the restaurant itself is in a different room. So I'm by myself, and I'm fucking show up. I'm like, hey, everybody, what's going on? And I fucking already popped this fucker, right? And I'm washing dishes and listening to the radio. I have a radio in there and shit. I'm listening. All of a sudden, I go, fuck, this song is long. The song I'm listening to. I was listening to some classic rock station. I go, God damn, I never heard how long this song can be. I said, is this the fucking dance version of this song? Like a party mix or something? And I think it was something like that. Fool around and fell in love. That song, But I go, God damn, it sure is fucking long. I don't think they ever made a dance mix to this song, right? And I'm washing the same fucking dish, right? And I'm standing there, and then all of a sudden, I turn the radio off. And I can hear the cook in a different room, his radio's on. And I'm going, God damn, I can hear his radio from where I'm at. I'm at least a good 100 feet from him, I would say, give or take. I'm listening to his radio, and then I can hear the song itself in general, and then I'm kind of piecing the song apart. I can hear the guitar player playing his guitar by itself. I can hear the bass player playing the notes perfectly. I think I even heard the drummer drop a drumstick while he was playing the song. That's how fucking in tune I was to that song, right? And I go, God damn, I said, what the fuck? So I get out of the dish room and I walk to the bathroom. And what's the first thing you do when you get high, right?
Go look in the mirror. Right
you go and look in the mirror. What's the first thing you say?
What the hell's wrong with me?
That's exactly. I go, I'm fucking high. I said, because I put water in my face, G. I was like that, and I put water in. I go, man, I'm fucking high, man. And what am I going to do? I got to drive home. And this is when it was snowing and shit. And so I go, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm thinking, all right, Louis told me it should only take an hour. Then you'll start, coming off of it, right? All right, I popped that fucker at 4. At least by 5:30, I'll be good to go. So I huff over there to the dishes, and I look at the clock. And so I figure 5:30, I'll be off the shit. I look at the clock, it's 4:15. I'm like, okay, I got a plan in action. I'm just going to go mind my own business, wash fucking dishes, and
zone out.
Zone out, right? And so I'm fucking washing dishes. I'm sweeping the floor. I'm fucking, washing the walls. And, taking stuff to the cook. He needs some fucking vegetables for the thing. Okay, I'll go cut that shit for it, right? I went, man, that's fucking sure did take a long time. I said, I'm going to go see what time it is, see how much I got left, right? And I looked at the clock at 4:15. I look at it, and it's 4:16. And I'm going, oh, my God. I said, fuck, this is going to take forever, right?
You're just working way too hard.
Oh, fuck, dude. I don't even think I worked that much. I think I made it up in my head.
It just seemed like you were working that long, and everything was that long.
So I'm in the dish room, and the waitress comes in and the cook come in. And they're talking to me. And I turn around, and I look at them. And they're saying something to me, but I can't distinguish what it is that they're saying because I'm so fucking high. I can't even figure out what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. All I'm hearing out of them is wonk, 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 wonk. And I'm like looking at them like
peanuts.
And I'm going, what are you fucking saying? That's all I say. It's like, what do you guys say? I go, leave me alone, And finally they looked at me kind of weird, like, man, what's wrong with this fucking guy? So I ended up doing my thing, and the pot wore off. And never again have I done a cheat. That was it. That was my first and last right there.
Well, it could have been way worse. I thought you were going to say that you were like balled up in the corner somewhere in the fetal position.
No, but I thought I was going to have to walk home, dude. Fuck. I was like, fuck, I can't drive like that.
Oh, I got so high one time. I was at it was a cannabis fest that we were doing a concert for. And, oh, man. They were just
cannabis, man.
Yeah, so
that right there fucking tells you what's up.
Oh man, they were passing around all kinds of stuff, hash and all kinds of different weeds and wax and everything. And I was hitting everything that was coming through.
What else you got?
Oh, I was on the stage doing songs, and they were passing me blunts and stuff on the stage, and so I was just smoking out and just in the zone, And I swear we were like under this like kind of like a gazebo tent.
Yeah.
And I went to go step out of that shit, and we're outside. And it was a real nice day, no clouds or nothing like that. And I like looked up in the sky, and I swear, man, I felt like I was gonna float away. And I was I like jumped down on the stage and like grabbed the fucking stage.
Oh,
that's when you're like fucking aggressively high.
That is pretty high when you're trying to hang on to the ground.
Yeah, because I was like the fucking thought I was gonna float into the fucking space.
I wasn't that bad. No,
yeah, at least yours was focused.
Yeah.
No, I've on those sativas though too. Those sativas sometimes get me a little too. I'm a hyper person as it is normally, so I do those, and that just
Does it help you write? Does it help you as an artist? Does it help you write shit?
Sativas don't for me. Sativas fuck me up. I don't like them. They make me panic attacks and just anxiety. Like anxiety in general. I just get sweaty palms and like just feel like I got to run away or something,
Yeah. From what?
But yeah, exactly, from nothing.
From what? Because you ain't running away from nothing.
Run away from myself.
Yeah.
But no, I like the indicas. Usually, that makes people sleepy. It gives me motivation. I don't know.
Oh, does it?
Because I think, like
I
said,
I'll try that next time. No,
yeah, there we go. Shit, if you want to go to sleep, for damn sure. I don't know what these ones are. They don't seem like they're indicas. I think they might have been some sativa stuff. But speaking of that, we better start wrapping up here.
Okay.
I've been speaking with my boy Chris Matez, a.k.a. Hollywood, DJ Hollywood on KRZA, has the Hollywood Show. Been here just chatting about sports, entertainment news, a little bit of regular news, just some experiences we've had.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah, me too. This is pretty fun, so we're going to have to do this again soon. And make sure you go check out Hollywood Show. You can listen to it on anything on KRZA.org, or if you have the TuneIn app, you can listen to it on that. He has it every Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So everybody out there listening, if you're not from Colorado, you can still listen to it in other ways, Yeah. Yeah, much love, man. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, and I guess I'll catch you all on the next show, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Thank
you much, man. And thank you all for listening. And tune in next time. You've been listening to the podcast Word. I'm G-Stylez. Peace out.
Hey, y'all. Word. Wanna hear it, wanna talk about it. Word. Wanna hear it, wanna talk about it. Know it's all about the word. You know it's word.